If you have never heard of Burmese curly, water curly, get over here, okay? This has to easily, hands down, top 10 favorite curly textures of all time, and I'm super excited to bring you a crochet look. Now, the hair, of course, is from EayonHair. Y'all should know by now, they are tried and tested and true. I will continue to work with them until infinity. Now, because I already have my hair braided down, I don't know if y'all have been seeing my little edge trick where I'm not necessarily applying just edge control. I start off with just like a skinny pencil little flat iron to get my edges kind of curls, pre-straightened, and then I'll go in with some like hairspray, a little bit of edge control just to lock everything into place. So y'all are probably like, Crissy, are you still texturizing your edges, girl? No, let me know if you need the braid down details, the edges details, all that. I really wanted to hone in on the style because now that so many girls are getting into the crochet styles, thank you for joining the party, okay? I want to make sure that you are installing this as simple and as effortless as possible without losing hair, okay? Yes, getting some of these knots in may look easy, but the takedown can get a little bit tricky. That's why you really want to be detailed in your braiding pattern. The base is going to be super important. I decided to do some anchor braids around my leave out, and then also just to really make sure that I'll have anchor braids around the front of my hair so that I don't have anything pulling. Sometimes I'll do the cornrows. It really just depends. But for this particular style, I know that with curlier hair, you're usually going to be yanking and pulling a little bit more than normal. So I really want to protect my hair. Obviously, protective styles are meant to be protective. Now, I've given you guys a few close-ups on what the actual hair looks like. Obviously, it is fresh out of the pack. Now, if you want to go in and pre-wash and allow it to air dry, totally feel free to do that. In my case, I didn't, okay? I went ahead and just immediately started installing the hair. You guys will see me go through and it'll look like it's kind of getting wet. It's because every now and then I kind of would go through, allow the faucet to drip, and just kind of put a little water on my hands just to kind of soften up the hair, y'all. I really wanted to see what this texture was giving right away, okay? One thing I know about a water curly or Burmese curly hair, it acts like literally just like straightened African American hair. So, and I guess I can't really say African American hair. I should really say textured, any type 4 hair. If I was to blow this out, straighten it out, girl, okay? Get into it. Now, that's for a totally different video. Right now, we're going to focus on this install, but just so that y'all are aware, yes, you could absolutely transform this hair. You are able to dye it, straighten it. Obviously, if you want to protect the integrity of the curl pattern, you might not want to be straightening on high heat, but no different than your natural hair. Heat protectors and all those things can play a huge role into preserving the hair. So like I said, let me know if that's something y'all want to get into. For now, the key here is just making sure that the placement is placed in a way that looks natural, right? A lot of times when I get curly hair, it's really, really easy to bulk up in one spot and not have the hair evenly distributed. So now that I'm kind of going through, I'm like, oh, I have about 10 to 12 of the crochet hairs in. I did not have to go in and like double them up, y'all. The strands were super thick. Obviously, the center area of the hair is protected with like a soft thread, no different than you use for like a sewing type of thread. I found that this has been super helpful compared to some of the earlier models of like the crochet bulk hair, which would usually result in you losing a ton of strands just because it's almost impossible to secure them. Having that little thread piece in the middle really, really ensures that not only you can easily install it, uninstalling it should be that much easier, whether you decide to cut them out or meticulously, because y'all, it can get there, okay? Pull them out one by one. If I were you, I honestly would just put this on a cap. But for the purposes of the video and for the girls that are like, Crissy, I don't really know how to make a wig, I don't really want to go through that process, I would rather just have it in my head, not think about it. This video is truly for you, okay? Y'all know I have a plethora of videos on my channel showing you different crochet styles. So even if you decided not to do a middle part, you wanted to have no leave out, you wanted to have a side part flip over, the options are endless. Girl, it's already on my channel. So if you are not already subscribed, definitely make sure to do that. And if you are already a part of the family, hey baby, okay, We are gearing up for wedding season. All right, y'all, we got some big things going on. So I definitely just want to make sure that I'm protecting my hair because the goal is to grow it out. Y'all know every year I typically end up doing some type of big chop. And by big chop, usually about 2 to 3 inches of my hair I'll just take away. Well, your girl is tired of just having a bob, okay? I literally want to do a few other styles, so we'll be focusing on not just extensions, but also protecting our natural hair, which ultimately, okay, should be the goal for all of us. So if you are struggling with like edges and, you know, any type of hair loss, you really want to be mindful of the styles that you select. I think that this is a very low tension style. Y'all see I'm able to pick the hair up. It's not going anywhere. And I also don't feel any like pulling or tugging at all, which is a major plus. Now, some of the angles may be a little bit awkward, but it's nothing that you can't achieve. I didn't go in and like double knot. I think I'm trying to remember if I actually doubled these up. It's starting to look like I may have, because I'm like, I know it was thick, but in some of these areas closest toward the front, like on that anchor braid that's going around my leave out, it looks like I have about 2 strands doubled there. If you decide to do that, yes, it will make it 10 times easier to remove because, of course, the thread is now a little bit thicker. You can clearly see it even better. But what you don't want to do is to double loop. There's literally no need. Once you secure it, a little bit of loop-to-loop and pull, okay? Once you do that, it is not going anywhere. It's literally looped around your hair. Pro tip, you definitely want to make sure that when you are inserting these though, let's say you're working on the braid, make sure that you go all the way underneath the braid so that the hair is looped around it. If you find yourself taking that, crochet hook, right? Or, if you find yourself going through the braid, you will, experience the braids feeling a little bit looser. You may feel a little bit of like tugging and pulling because you're literally ripping through your hair just to get that thread through. That is not what you want. I think of it as like strangling the braid. I don't want to do that, okay? You want to make sure that the braid is not only thick enough to, of course, anchor the hair, but also that you are going completely underneath that braid each and every time, making sure that the loop is nice and secure. It's really easy to also maneuver. If for whatever reason you go in and you start to loop and then it's like the loop is not completely even on both sides, you can literally pull left, pull a little right, not too tough, and it will literally just go into place. Y'all will see me do that so many times and voila, okay? Super quick and easy. First of all, the hair, soft to touch. It did smell amazing. Like I said, I'm making a joke. I know some of y'all be like, Crissy, how you just installing this hair straight out of the gate? You ain't washed it, you ain't did nothing. Babes, I feel you, okay? It's not too late to go in and wash it now if you feel like that, but for me, it's okay. To know me is to know I typically don't leave styles in longer than a week or 2. With this particular style, I ended up having it in for 3 weeks, and that was just because I really wanted to see what it felt like to wake up and go, to really have to do a couple twist styles and just to give my hair ultimately a break. So this was a really easy, quick and easy style that I was able to achieve. Now, when it comes to the blending, y'all know my hair is closer to a type 4. It's definitely more coarse than this hair. And so blending can be a challenge. There's a couple of different ways that we could go. You could totally wet down your hair if your natural hair texture matches this with ease. Wet it down, apply a little bit of mousse, maybe even seal it with a little curl gel. Boom, you're out of the door. But if you're like me, I'm going to go in with some of my Sacred. This is their lotion, which I just find to be extremely moisturizing, and it also helps to lock the style in place. Now, 2016, 2017 Crissy would have used a little bit of the Cream in Nature Edge Control as a way to kind of just mold my hair. I would have allowed this to sit, and it's no different here. I'm just changing the products. So I'm going to twist it down. I would usually allow this to air dry the extensions and also my hair. Not that it's like wet, but it's definitely like that product can cause it to be, a little bit of moist. So I would usually let that air dry and then remove it. I wanted to give y'all another option. If you ain't got that kind of time and you go ahead and you just kind of twist everything out, maybe you're like, look, okay, I've twisted it just to kind of form that wavy look. Leave it for about 10 minutes if you have that kind of time, and then take it loose, go over the tops of your hair with some mousse, blend everything in, smooth it down. Now, proceed with caution, because if you have kinky hair and it's prone to, you know, reverting, or you kind of see the flow, you see how it looks like, oh, did she have braids in, you know, that kind of look of like a braid out. If you are able to get away with this, cool. But if your hair is anything like mine, okay, a few hours would go by, a little bit too much humidity, and it would be like, Chrissy, what's going on with that leave out? All right. So I'm going to show y'all how the original method, girl, I'm stuttering, get it out. Okay. I'm going to show you how 2016, 2017 Chrissy would have spent this using that same product, except like I said, typically I would have used like an edge control. I'm deciding not to do that. The Sacred the Sacred Hair Lotion does wonders, okay? Like I said, if your hair naturally blends, this will be super easy. You can go in, diffuse it if you want to, allow it to air dry, boom, you got a look, okay? This is not promising for me in particular. So we had to figure something else out. Decided to go ahead and just literally same thing. I twisted my hair back down. This time I added a satin roller at the end, which is what 2016, 2017 Chrissy would have done with that edge control. And I'm only referencing that because if you've been here for a while, you would have seen some of those blending videos back in the day. So that is hilarious. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go through, kind of diffuse a little bit more, because apparently, I don't know, it wasn't completely dry from the day before. I did go ahead and add some face framing layers. I did end up chopping this up to about armpit length. I wanted to really just see how it looked completely dry before making that decision to chop it up. And yeah, you don't have to cut into the hair if you don't want to, because obviously when you go to reinstall it, you may find yourself like, dang, okay, was this at the top or was this at the bottom? Because it's curly hair, honestly, it's not really going to matter. So if you don't mind trimming away at your next install, no different than you would with like wefted hair, if you were getting a sew-in, or quickly when you're wanting to reuse the hair, girl, the stylist or yourself, okay, will figure that out and just layer it back up. You'll be fine, I promise. Now, clearly, I was obsessed with the edges, baby, okay? They were soft and doing what I need them to do. I just thought that the hair just looks so pretty. I love me in some curls, okay? Now that lotion had a chance to kind of set up, and don't worry, I'll leave the products linked so y'all can kind of get into that. But yeah, now that the hair kind of had a chance to really set up overnight, it was dried fully. So when I took it out, I didn't have to worry about, oh, is my hair gonna revert? Is it gonna blend? Like, no, it kind of gave more of a kind of loose braid out look, which allowed it to blend a lot easier. All that I went through and did is kind of tuck some pieces in between other strands of the hair. If this was like wefted hair, I would have absolutely taken a weft in between my leave out. So if I had about an inch of leave out, I would have added wefted hair in between that entire part to get it to blend even more. So pro tip, just leave out less hair so you don't have to even think about doing that. But yeah, if your hair blends and this is beautiful, a quick and easy style to get you up and out of the door, okay? Hopefully I have saved y'all a lot of time, energy, and money, because yes, the initial install did take about an hour and a half, you know, with the shaping and all that, 2 hours, but this is gonna save you at least 2 to 3 weeks if properly maintained of like maintenance, and probably even longer. Just make sure that you're washing your hair somewhere in between, and y'all can see just how easily and better, okay, the blend looks now that it kind of set up. So pro tip, okay, girls, if you want to do curly and your hair is kinky and coarse like mine, don't be discouraged. You can do it. You just need the proper, you know, technique. That's it. Technique, products, patience will go a long way. So definitely let me know. Leave any comments or questions down below. I absolutely love this and would have loved for y'all to see how it looks like, just blown out, straight in, a few curls and all that. Yeah, let me know if that's something y'all want to see. If not, that's okay. We'll keep it curly. No big deal here at all. If you are new here, welcome. Now's a great time to subscribe. I love y'all so much. Stay pretty. And of course, I'll see you in my next video. Bye, babies.